Hi, popcorn junkies. How are you doing? So I've got really itchy ears tonight. I'm beginning to wonder whether this sort of slowly evolving UFO takeover, is anyone else vaguely worried about the constant use of the phrase unidentified flying objects, if I could say it? I'm not. I don't know about anyone else. I want to be abducted by aliens. Does anyone remember Mars attacks? When they grafted the head of a chihuahua onto a person's head? Or was it the other way around? A head onto a chihuahua? Anyway, I mean, I'm up for all of that sort of stuff. If we've got to go, I'd rather go at the hands of UFOs. Anyway, obviously there's been 4 unidentified objects shot down over Canada and America. In Uruguay, the Air Force have been scrambled to attend to flashing lights in a part of the country. And in China, there are reports of them having seen an unidentified flying object at one of their ports. But could that be China trying to distract from all their various spy planes over America? And also some of the pilots who shot down or went into one of the UFOs that they were dealing with said that they couldn't see any natural way of the object being propelled or having propulsion. So, as we sit on the edge of possibly the opening of a film like Close Encounters or Nope, maybe this is Jordan Peele getting his revenge for getting no Oscar nominations for Nope. Anyway, it's the Super Bowl tonight. Lots of people on social media saying maybe they've come to see Rihanna perform at the in the middle of the Super Bowl. But of course, it's a time for trailers to land, and tonight the Flash trailer has landed. And I'm not personally an enormous Flash aficionado. I remember him being, was it in the Justice League? I remember thinking he was quite a funky little character. I quite like the actor. Ezra Miller obviously famously plays the Flash. He's got into all sorts of trouble well, not in the press, but in Montana and various places. He's kind of stolen bottles of wine. He's beaten people up. One particular part of his kind of aggro, which particularly amuses me, was him getting really furious with someone doing a karaoke of the main song from A Star Is Born. And he sort of smashed the joint up and threw chairs at people. You know, there's nothing worse than bad karaoke, let's face it. Interesting there, though, is that the Flash is part of Warner Brothers, and he was getting upset about them singing a song from a Warner Brothers film too, so maybe he was just being protective of their IP. He seems to be back on the road to recovery. This is an important and symbolic release for Warner Brothers and DC because, of course, I thought they were going to cut Ezra Miller out of the equation, but no, they're standing by him. Ezra Miller has said that they're going to absolutely change their behavior and reform themselves and all that kind of stuff. So this is the next big part of DC, the DC universe. This is not exactly part of James Gunn's vision, but this is going to lay some of the foundations, I presume, for some of the future moves and projects and films and what have you. So, without further ado, let's watch the trailer that landed about half an hour ago.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe.
Batman!
So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one? Because this is the world where my mom lives.
Good enough reason.
I'm not going to lose her again.
Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets. My face. So my face.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
It's not happening. I completely broke the universe.
Son, we've been waiting for you.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not be a future.
try not to die.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm
Well, we're Barry.
Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are gonna want to see this.
Who the devil's she? She's an unidentified flying object. My God, it all gets a little bit weird when you begin to think this could be happening in the real world. Okay, well, I have to confess. As I say, I remember as a kid going down to the newsagents and there being a Flash comic and me going, don't fancy that. I didn't like this. I found his zigzag a bit silly. Ben Affleck, Batman. What? My whole head went funny there. So this idea that you've got different Batmans in different films and different iterations, is it going to get confusing? Is James Gunn going to get confused? It's directed by the guy who directed It. I like the idea of Ezra Miller meeting himself, facing himself, the two sides of him, the historic side of him, is it? Is it an alternate? Are we in another sort of metaverse, sort of multiverse type situation here? Could the split personality be why poor old Ezra Miller has been having a tough time off screen? Maybe they methoded this and it led to all sorts of confusion. Carla, was it Carla or Cara? I'm intrigued by her. How has Flash, for those of you who know this, how has Flash become Flash? Was he sort of electrocuted? I mean, obviously I like his involvement with time, space and movement. I like all of that stuff. I think that's interesting. You get into sort of back to the future sort of territory, don't you? If you go to the past, you can change the future. La-di-blah-di-la-di-da. Was that Michael Shannon I saw in there playing the villain? Because he's always a good villain. He was brilliant in The Shape of Water. It's the best thing in it for me, with all that kind of stuff around him. I'm going to say something I'm surprised. I quite liked that. It made me want to go and see it. It looks like proper superhero stuff. It looks like proper comic book stuff. Anyway, but if you could give me some pointers on Flash's origin, Flash's shtick, what better reason to want to save the world than your mum's in it? Yeah, I quite like that.